Hello there, welcome to State of Business on our television. I am Kampala. Stay tuned in as we bring you the most up-to-date highlights of the day. And let's start news after having a brief look at the top stories for tonight. Arrangements have been made to settle the $1 billion bond maturing in July, CBSL Governor states. And the electronic and electrical sector records export earnings over $422 million in 2021, EDB says. And now news in detail. Ajit Cabral, Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, speaking to CNBC International, expressed confidence in settling the $1 billion international sovereign bond maturing in July. The governor stressed that this is the only area where any kind of risk can be seen and that there is no need to approach the IMF as Sri Lanka is already restructuring its debt in a sustainable manner. Last week, Sri Lanka settled a $500 million bond and now faces a $1 billion bond maturing in July. The governor conveyed that arrangements have been made to settle the bond maturing in July and that its settlement would cut ISP exposure by 23%. The ISPs that remain will then amount to $11.5 billion and is a result of the government policy to reduce exposure to ISPs for greater resilience against external sector shocks. Governor Cabral went on to state that of the $6.9 billion in debt due for 2022, most are loans based in Sri Lanka which have been negotiated for rollover, and the multilateral debt for 2022 will be funded with new incoming receipts. He's confident that nation can overcome its forex and economic issues with the current strategy, which involves Indian credit lines of $2.5 billion, currency swaps and bilateral funding until non-debt creating inflows are established in coming months. Despite pandemic challenges, the electronic and electrical sector records export earnings of over $422 million in 2021, showing a 30% increase when compared to the $328 million earned during the previous year. These figures were revealed in a statement released by the Sri Lanka Export Development Board. Sri Lanka is seen as a centre of excellence in electronics design and development, as is recognised as a design and delivery destination in the sector. The sector, with Sri Lanka Export Development Board support, aims to reach an export target of $1 billion by 2025. The EDB statement also communicates that the industry is engaged in advanced research and development and has emerged emerging technologies such as the Internet of Things, robotics, biomedical and analytics. Sri Lankan electrical and electronics sector affords the nation a foothold in the global electronics value-added supply chain and caters to multiple industries including automobile, telecommunication, consumer electronics and industrial automation. There are more than 100 organizations engaged in design, manufacture and export of products and services within the sector. The sector has approximately 37,000 employees. This includes high-profile researchers and design engineers who make a significant contribution towards the country's export-focused economic development ambitions. Meanwhile, Dr. Maria Van Kuko, appearing on the WHO Science in 5 program, explained that while Omicron is less severe, it is still dangerous as those infected face the full spectrum of disease and death. Dr. Kuko stressed that unvaccinated individuals face severe COVID-19 following infection from Omicron and confirmed its high transmissibility. She also explained the importance of taking precautions to limit its spread.
It's important that we reduce transmission of Omicron for a number of reasons. First, we want to prevent people from getting infected because there is a risk that you can develop severe disease. There are ways in which we can prevent that, but you are still at a risk of developing disease, and if you have underlying conditions or of an advanced age, if you're not vaccinated, you can develop severe disease. Your risk is higher of developing severe disease. The second reason is that we don't understand completely the impact of post-COVID condition or long COVID. So people who are infected with this virus have a risk of developing longer-term consequences, which we call post-COVID condition. And we really are only beginning to understand this. So there's a lot to learn about this. And your risk of developing post-COVID condition, of course, is dependent on your risk of getting infected in the first place. So we want to prevent that. Third is that getting infected and having a huge case burden, this surge of cases that we are seeing with Omicron, significantly burdens our health systems as well as other essential services that are operating. The large number of cases are really making it difficult for hospitals to operate, for services to be online, public transportation, making sure we have groceries in our grocery store, schools, etc. And lastly, the more this virus circulates, the more opportunities it has to change. So this virus is circulating at an incredibly intense level around the world for a number of reasons. But the more the virus circulates, the more opportunities the virus has to change. Omicron will not be the last variant that you will hear us discuss, and the possibility of future emergence of variants of concern is very real. And more variants that emerge, we don't understand what the properties of those variants may be. Certainly they will be more transmissible because they will need to overtake variants that are currently circulating. They could become more or less severe, but they can also have properties of immune escape. So we want to reduce the risk of future emergence of variants of concern.
Stay tuned for more news after the short break.
These are dreamers. They made their big dreams real, using the same connected devices you and I are holding in our hands right now. So what is stopping you? No dream too big. SLT Mobitel.
Welcome back to the program. The oil tanker Sunny Bay carrying 15,000 metric tons of marine gas oil called at the Hambantota International Port on 23rd January. The vessel was the first to discharge MGO for storage at the port's tank farm. The port's proximity to busy sea routes is a partnership with Sinopec for IMO 2020 fuels, and a state-of-the-art petroleum testing laboratory with Intertech Lanka makes Sri Lanka's maritime services competitive. The Hambantota International Port, with its global partner Sinopec, launched bunkering operations for VLSFO last year. The tank farm, along with its fully refurbished oil jetties, were FSS certified by the Lloyd's Register earlier this month. The port, as strategic bunker operator in the region, will utilize a storage facility for marine gas oil and marine diesel oil. This will provide a fuel complement of bunkering fuels for its customers, along with advanced on-site assurance, testing, inspection and certification services for bunker fuels, LPG, LNG and other petrochemical products. Once in operation, the Hambantota International Port will cater to the second highest demand in the maritime industry. The marine gas oil supplied by the port is compliant with the ISO 8271 standard and can also be provided to overseas locations such as the Maldives. Meanwhile, the government of Sri Lanka, in a renewed push, is engaging with friendly nations to establish close high-level bilateral ties, strengthen the economy and secure inflows of foreign currency. The growth of these ties focuses on bolstering cooperation at global governance organizations and economic development through people-to-people interaction, trade, tourism and investment. The Foreign Minister and the Ambassador expressed interest in expanded cooperation during a meeting when Indonesian Ambassador Dewi Gusna Tobing called on the Foreign Minister at the Foreign Ministry on 24th January. Cooperation through high-level leader interaction and people-to-people contact is to cover diverse areas such as support at UN and other international fora, supported for each other's candidature, enhanced trade, investment and tourism. Foreign Minister Pires also noted significant possibilities in defence cooperation, including combating illicit drug trafficking and sharing of intelligence. He stressed the importance of close interaction between maritime agencies, national anti-narcotic agencies and counter-terrorism. Meanwhile, Pakistan's Foreign Minister Makhdoom Shah Mahmood Qureshi said yesterday that bilateral trade relations must be enhanced via the Pakistan-Sri Lanka Free Trade Agreement. This is to include increased business community interaction, joint ventures and investment in sectors of high potential. The Pakistani Foreign Minister made this overture to capitalize the goodwill that exists between the two nations at a meeting with Sri Lanka's Trade Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena and Regional Cooperation State Minister Tharaka Balasuri in Pakistan yesterday. Now, a former head of the Ceylon Electricity Board says the main reason for the present power crisis is the failure of previous governments to take the right decision in time. Former CEB chairman Professor Vijaypala at a media briefing organised by the political movement called 43rd Brigade said that even when the right decision was taken, previous governments failed to implement them.
අපේ දීර්ඝකාලීන තීරණ ගැනීමේ ක්‍රියාවලියේ පහුගිය අවුරුදු 20ක් 25ක් තිස්සේම තියෙන දුර්වලතා. අපි ගත්ත තීරණ වැරදි තීරණ ගත්තා. ඒ වගේම ගත්ත හරි තීරණ ක්‍රියාත්මක කළේ නැහැ. මම උදාහරණයක් කියන්නම් වැරදි තීරණයක් 1990 ගණන් වල අපි ගත්තා. තෙල් භාවිතයෙන් විදුලි නිෂ්පාදනය කිරීම වැඩි කළා. අනිකුත් ගල් අඟුරු සහ LNG මගින් නිෂ්පාදනය කරන ඒවා පස්සට තල්ලු කරා. ලෝකයේ තෙල් භාවිතයෙන් විදුලි නිෂ්පාදනය කරන්නේ 3%යි. ඒකත් තෙල් නිෂ්පාදනය කරන රටවල්. වෙන කිසිම රටක් ඉන්දියාව, චීනය, දියුණු වෙන කොරියාව, ජපානය කිසිම රටක් තෙල් භාවිතා කරලා විදුලි නිෂ්පාදනය කරන්නේ නැහැ. මේ අදූරදර්ශී තීරණ නිසා අපි අද 130ක් විතර ප්‍රමාණයක් තෙල් භාවිතයෙන් විදුලි නිෂ්පාදනය කරන ඉතා අධික මිලට තෙල් භාවිතයෙන් විදුලි නිෂ්පාදනය කරන රටක් බවට පත් වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒක ඉතාම වැරදි තීරණයක්. ඒ වගේම අපි නොඑක් අවස්ථාවල අපි ක්‍රියාත්මක කරගෙන ආපු විදුලි බලාගාර අතරමඟදී නවතා දැම්මා. උදාහරණයක් විදිහට මෙගාවොට් 500ක සම්පූර්ණ බලාගාරය 2016-17 කාලේ වැඩ පටන් ගන්න තිබුණේ. ඒක එක පෑම් පාරකින් නවත්තලා දැම්මා. ඉතින් අද අපි මේ ගෙවන මේ මිල මේ ප්‍රශ්නය විදුලිය කැපීම මේ සියල්ලටම මුල තමයි මේ අදූරදර්ශී තීරණ. ඉතින් දැන් අපිට පේනවා තවත් අදූරදර්ශී තීරණ මේ රජවලුත් ගනිමින් ඉන්නවා. දැන් උදාහරණයක් විදිහට අපි තීරණය කළා තියෙනවා 70%ක් නැත්නම් 80%ක් පුනර්ජනනීය විදුලි බලාගාර විදුලියට යන්න 2030 වෙනකොට. ඒකේ වරදක් නැහැ. ඒකේ වරදක් නැහැ. ඒ ගාන අපිට සරිලන ගාන නා. අපේ ආර්ථිකේ රොරතු දෙන ගානක් නා. ඒක නිසා මම අහන්න කැමති රජයෙන් සහ අනිකුත් නිලධාරීන්ගෙන් මේ ගාන අපි තීරණය කළේ මොන පදනමෙන්ද?
We will be right back after this short break.
But if she doesn't lay eggs, she'll have to go.
UHD quality video streaming. Internet like a boss. SLT Mobitel Fiber.
Welcome back after the break. Trading at Columbus Stock Exchange ended on negative notes today. The all-share price index dropped 144.42 points to close at 13,065.75 and the S&P SL 20 dropped 47.94 points to close at 4,487.00. The turnover was 5.3 billion rupees and over 160 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex Rates. Well, that's all news for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.